Hi everybody. Hello everybody. It is me, Fitness and Evolution. Hi guys. Grand and beautiful rising. Grand and beautiful rising. Grand and beautiful rising everybody. It is Fitness and Evolution. Grand rising, my kings and queens. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody is doing great. If you guys don't mind, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the likes and the bell so you'll know when I come on or upload a new video, please. And thank you. Grand rising, everybody. Grand rising, guys. The journey continues. The journey continues, everyone. Message today is know your individual purpose. Knowing your individual purpose is so very important when you are becoming in tune with yourself. A lot of people tend to want to mock others when it comes to their individual purpose, not realizing that this journey is yours, guys, and no one else can walk it, no one else can live it but you. So rule number one is always know your individual journey and never ever compare yourself to anyone else. The particular subject I am talking about and pertaining to today is the one, especially when you are becoming more in tune, let's just say more in tune with yourself and wanting to become more spiritual, working on self-love, and all of those things that may fall up under that umbrella. You have to know your individual journey and your individual worth. This is your journey and no one else's. The number one thing that I've noticed with a lot of people is they start to emulate others where they are not even being authentic, which is number one failure. One of the number one failures is when you're not authentic or not honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself on this journey, because your spirit, your higher self, your higher being, and the energies around you will recognize when you are not being genuine. And you come across a lot of YouTubers that you can pretty much tell that they are not really being their genuine selves, because the messages that they are given is pretty much repeating what someone else has said, or even their look. Now, I know there's going to be similarities with, the basics of what you should be doing, how you should be doing it and everything, just like this example of being who you are, being genuine, and not comparing yourself to others. There's going to be always similar topics and things that YouTubers talk about. But when the person begins to speak, you will realize, or you will be able to tell, that they are really not being who they are from within. They are emulating someone else's lifestyle. Everybody is not going to see everything the same way. A message can be given to one person, and a different individual will take that same message in a different way. And that's pretty much how it's going to go. You have to make it fit in with you. It has to fit your lifestyle. You have to be the interpreter of your destiny. You have to be the interpreter of what it is that you need in your everyday life in order for you to evolve. And a lot of people tend to forget that, what may be good for me may not be good for you in the same light. You may have to reverse it or switch it around or add a little bit to, or take a little bit out in order for it to fit in with you, because it's you. It's not me, it's you. One thing that's very important on this journey or evolving is to become one with yourself. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't know how to do that. You have a lot of people that cannot stand being alone with themselves. You have to learn how to be alone and listen to the energies and listen to your inner being, your inner guidance. And people call it meditation. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It really does not matter. But you do have to spend time alone with yourself, working on you, creating the appropriate surrounding, creating the appropriate circle of people when you do choose to have people in your arena. That's so very important, and a lot of people forget about that, and you shouldn't. First thing first, this is what I did, okay? And, you know, there, like I said, there are guidelines to go off of and everything. But this is one thing that I chose to do. The first thing I chose to do was get rid of all of the riffraff that was in my life, regardless of who or what it was. I decided to get rid of the riffraff in my life. That's the first thing I did. Very hard decision, but it wasn't impossible. You know, it wasn't impossible. It was difficult, but it wasn't impossible. 9 times out of 10, you'll realize that it was all just a habit anyway. You know, so that was the first thing I did, was get rid of all the, basically the riffraff in my life, the things that was not being, the things that was not supporting me, the things that was not conducive to what I wanted or needed, the things that were not, you know, resonating with me, the things that no longer fit in. I got rid of those. That's the first thing that I did. The next thing that I chose to do was to research. You're always researching and you're always learning. You know, you start reading things, you start looking up things, you start, you know, comprehending things with your own mind, you know, and understanding what fits in with you, understanding what goes with your lifestyle, understanding what you're vibing on. That is the next thing that I did. After that, I began to learn how to be with self and meditation and knowing the proper tools, you know, whatever things, equipment or whatever you're using, basically tools, learning how to use them in the best abilities for me, learning how to properly, you know, include things in to help me get to that point of self-love that I needed. You know, things such as candles, sage, crystals, incense, certain things to help you just like tune in to certain rhythms, certain things that'll help you listen. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm driving. Certain things that will help you listen, and all of those things, singing bowls, different things like that. I started to incorporate those things into my life, things, again, that resonated with me. When you're dealing with crystals, you know, you should always make sure that you know what that crystal does, what it represents, what it's used for, and different things like that, you know. Always do that. Just because you may see someone using a particular type of crystal doesn't necessarily mean that's the crystal for you or that's what you should be using. But that'll be another video later on, you know, because crystals do represent different things, and there are some basic crystals, but you have a lot of people that'll go out and just get a crystal because someone else has that crystal and they think it's pretty. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about, and they do that all the time. So we don't want to do that. The next thing I started doing was cutting people off completely. Period. Family members, close friends, people you grew up with, whatever, you know. I did not go into what people will probably try to say isolation. I didn't do that. But I pretty much just cut off a lot of things that was just like lower, I'm going to say lower energy, you know. I cut off a lot of that, you know. I was just like, okay, that enough is enough. And then by me doing that, the next step for me was to clean up my nutrition even more. No, I am not vegan or vegetarian right now as of this moment. Never knows what the future is going to hold. But I do understand. I started understanding even more in order for you to become more in tune with yourself, what is for you. You do have to, your nutrition, your diet, whatever you want to call it, plays a very, very, very important role. So what I started doing was incorporating more fresh fruits and veggies and limiting the red meat. You know, started eating more fish, more chicken, more turkey. Now, I'm not at the point in my life where I have cut out completely beef. I haven't done that yet, but it's very limited, very monitored, and it's rare. I'm going to say that's rare. And I realized when I started doing that, I became more peaceful. I became more balanced, which is very, very important, because whether you know it or not, your nutrition and your diet, again, plays a major role in you balancing yourself out as well. And a lot of people disregard that, but I noticed a major change when I started to do that. A lot of times people also haven't realized, even though I was always into my fitness before, excuse me guys, my spiritual journey, my self-love journey, let's call it that, continuing. I was already heavy into fitness. That's why, I named my YouTube page Fitness and Evolution. It just fit. It resonated with me. It was something that I knew that will constantly change and will never be the same. So I've already was into fitness heavy. But what I've done since then, with this self-love journey, my self-love journey, really getting in tune and listening to what is being told to me to do, was I incorporated in yoga more and a lot of Pilates. That does a body good. The energies that your body gives off when you are doing more fitness activities combined with all of the other things that I've mentioned, you are really balancing yourself out and you are advancing yourself to a higher level. So it's so many things that you can do, and you don't have to do these things all at once, but you will find that once you start, things will start to align. A lot of things will start to align, which is amazing, because you will get the inkling all of a sudden of, I want to do this now. I think it's time for me to start doing this, and I think it's time for me to start doing that. You will be so surprised on how that works. Oh, my nose is itching, like something is tickling my nose. So you'll be so surprised on how that works. Pleasantly surprised. One thing that I also did was, and I've noticed, is I started to learn how to control my emotions. Emotions is a scale, basically. I'm trying to put this in a way. Emotions is a scale. You have good emotions and you have bad. Well, I'm not going to call it bad. You have higher emotions and then you have lower emotions, which is really nothing but energy. So I learned how to control my emotions from being such a lower energy emotion. I learned how to do that. Certain people will try to bring you back down to where they are. And once you have learned how to master that from happening, you become so much different. I can control my emotions or anger or feelings so greatly now. Not that it's perfect, but so well now that it's almost as if I'm a new me. And a lot of people might think that that's impossible. People can't do that. Yes, you can. You can control your emotions. Remember, guys, I'm always saying everything you do is really just a habit. And controlling your energies and your emotions, or your emotions, when you are lining yourself up and becoming more in tune with yourself, you're going to realize that these things become easier and easier. So it's not so hard for you to do. If you have people around you that's always trying to trigger certain emotions and get a certain reaction out of you, and it's not a good one, it's not a what we call a happy one or whatever, you don't need that person in your life. You do not need that person in your life at all. Next thing that I started doing, I really shouldn't be saying next thing. Should really be all things that I do, continuing. I limited and it's so freaking severe now. I have severely limited how much I watch TV and the music that I choose to listen to. That's so very important. A lot of people tend to forget about that. You know, certain subliminal messages and certain vibrations and different things like that comes from what you watch and what you hear. And a lot of people disregard that. Now, I'm not saying I never watch TV or I never listen to music, but what I am saying is I choose what I want to watch and I choose what I want to listen to. For example, when I'm driving in my car, if I don't have a certain CD, I don't listen to the radio, because the radio is it's just not there for me. It's not at where I need it to be. So I don't listen to the radio at all when I'm driving. I never even have the volume up, okay? My children can testify to that. And when I'm at home, I don't have cable. I think it's just a real waste of time and money and all of that. I have DVDs that I choose to watch and look at. And by me doing that, I am controlling my mindset. I am in control of what goes in my thoughts. I am also in control of what comes out of my thoughts. You know, it's again all a balance. So it's when I started doing that, I became more calm as well. Cutting out those things. Have you ever noticed the people that's always watching TV or always having to hear or listen to something in their ear, radio? I don't care what it is. It's like they always got to have something on. Have you ever paid attention to that type of person? They are a scattered brain. They're all over the place. They're unorganized. They can't stay focused. You know, it's almost as if they have what society calls ADHD. They really can't focus. I know, and I have noticed that because I started to study people that is always in front of a TV or listening to something that's not really doing anything for them. These people that always got to have some type of entertainment. They are, in every last one of these people that I have paid attention to, they can't focus. They're always expecting somebody to do something for them. They're always waiting for somebody to instruct them. They're unorganized. If you go to their home, if things are not in proper order or proper place, it's a whole lot of different things. And if you guys pay attention to what I'm saying and hear me out, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. You'll know that I'm telling you the truth. Pay attention to those type of people. It's like they are not functioning. The first thing that they do when they come home is turn the TV on or turn the radio on, or the first thing they do when they get in the car is turn the radio on to whatever. It don't even really matter. It's always something they have to be, you know, having programmed in their mind. It's like almost impossible for them to sit or drive in a car with complete silence. Have you guys ever noticed that? And those people are, oh my gosh, those people are all over the place. And that shows you what those type of vibrations that you're listening to or watching does to you, basically. It has an effect on you, whether you want to know it or not. especially with the music and the subliminal messages that you see on movies and on television. These are just some things that I wanted to mention as I, continue on my evolution and becoming more self-aware, self-love, vibrating on a higher level and evolving. These are just some of the things that I do on a daily. Is it perfect? No, there's no such thing as perfect. When I say there's no such thing as perfect, there's no such thing as perfect all around, but there is a such thing as perfect for you, which means that is the idea for you. You have to realize that. So when people say there's no such thing as perfect, no, it's not perfect for them, but it could be a situation or a circumstance that is perfect for you. And we have to truly recognize that. So I just wanted to get on here and share this with you guys, with some of the things that I'm doing currently and ongoing with becoming more in tune and more evolved as I continue on my journey of becoming more on a higher conscious level, becoming more spiritual, becoming more correct, becoming more one with who I am. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say today. Like I mentioned in the previous video, what I upload will never be just one particular thing. I covered many, many different types of topics because life is an evolution and we are always evolving. We are always changing, and it's just not about one particular thing. It's all about balance. Ashe, ashe, ashe.